Hello, everybody, all at once. This is Theo Cedar-Jones, and the topic lately with me and Bunny Buns and Aaron Lewandowski and Warner Williams is what to do about my legacy. So I have sent my will to Bunny Buns, and I wanted to make clear on this video what my intentions are for my legacy. All of the intellectual property and items of value that I would leave behind when I die, under two different circumstances. If I die before Warner, then most likely I would not inherit the remaining paintings into the Ego Death Foundation, unless Warner wants that. And I need to discuss that with Warner. If Warner dies before me, then I would inherit his unsold paintings and copyrights, and those would become part of Ego Death. So, with that caveat, whatever intellectual property I do own at my time of death, it is to be used in the following ways. All of my notebooks, all of my photographs, all of my undigitized video, all of my musical cassette recordings, and every single bit of my intellectual property that isn't already digitized in a form that can be put on internet archives is to be digitized and put into freely available open source Theo Cedar-Jones digital archives online. So literally everything I've ever done or created that has been documented that has a form that can be digitized should be and will be digitized by the Ego Death Foundation. And so that's one of the jobs and purposes of the Ego Death Foundation, is to digitize everything of Theo Cedar-Jones, including all the Warner Williams copyrights and or original paintings and or items and materials that I've ended up with at my time of death. All those are to be digitized and made available on the Open Source Commons online as well. Basically everything I've ever done, including Warner Williams and Bunny Buns, if she'll let me, would be in the same Open Source Commons online, available to anybody to use as they wish, as long as they correctly give credit to the copyright holders and cut us in on royalties if you sell over 1,000 units of whatever it is that includes our materials. So this is a very ordinary, very workable, Creative Commons type open source licensing system, and the purpose of this is to both make the products of my life's work available to the people as a public service to the world, that my creative output in my journals and my music, my video, my art, drawings and so forth, digital artwork and books and manuals, all the things I've created are there for the purposes of creating the new civilization, as Adida states it in Not to His Peace. Everything I'm about in my lifetime is either leading up to or a direct intentional contribution toward Adida's fulfillment of both my realization of him personally and the creation of the Global Cooperative Forum specifically, and the Free Union of Renunciate Messengers also. Everything about my life's work is leading up to the creation of the Global Cooperative Forum, the realization of Adida personally, and the creation of the Free Union of Renunciate Messengers, and of course the furtherance of our intellectual property, Swaybone, Theo Cedar-Jones, Warner Williams, and Bunny Buns. Now, all the money and profits from the sale of Warner Williams paintings after my death that I owned, or they're in the Ego Death Foundation, all the licensing of Warner Williams intellectual property thereafter for any purpose, all of the licensing of Swaybone music and Theodore Jones music, and the sale of that music, all the finished recorded songs, all the unfinished recorded musical ideas, and all the jams, and all the rehearsals, and all the live shows. All of that material is to be sold or given away. Basically, at any given time, 10% of it should be given away on special giveaway deals. And there should be special incentives for people to pay attention and get involved with this enormous archive of materials and all the art that's being made from it. Because all of my slogans, all of my inventions, all of my lyrics that I never used for my songs, all of that is going to be immensely useful to artists in the future, because I am the first artist after Adida, devotee of Adida, to extensively, comprehensively, and seriously adapt a complete musical body of work, a complete written body of work, and a video body of work, and align that to Adida, his teaching, his person. So, I am the most complete artistic expression about Adida thus far by any artist, and there are others, of course, as well, like Simon Pritchard, who are coming up, and Jeff Forrester, and Jacqueline Clemens, and Namlia Free Jones, and E.O. Free Jones, who have done extraordinary work also. And there will be many more. But in the realm of rock and roll, I'm the first to really push it as this far, further than Ed Kowalczyk of Live, who always couched his lyrics in impenetrable references to Adida that certainly were not part of any popular movement or education campaign on the part of Ed or his band or anything like that to make Adida acceptable, popular, or knowable by the masses. So Ed was a big fat disappointment and failure. Namlia has been a big fat disappointment and failure. And Bunny Buns was, in a way, a disappointment and failure, as I said in another video blog, that she did not decide to be Adida's chef in 2002 and go to the island and be his quandrum, be one of his quandra, and become a good devotee in practice, maybe a great one, submit to the guru completely, realize the guru, become a realizer, renunciate in his company, and help save him, save his life, save him from quantum sukha mai, save him from the insiders, and then draw me in under your wing, because you've got the position and the power, and suddenly we're back there together as allies on Naitumba, raising living hell. But that's another side story. In order not to fuck this up, the legacies have to be protected of Theodore Jones, Warner Williams, and Bunny Buns. The Ego Death Foundation is there for the purpose of the protection of those legacies. And my will is the Ego Death Foundation. And the Ego Death Foundation is there to support and defend and extend and protect my legacy of all my intellectual property surviving me. All of which is to be made available to the world through the internet via an open source Creative Commons licensing system. And all the profits thereby from all the future sales of anything within the purview of the Ego Death Foundation will go towards the following things. Number one, the archiving and digitizing of all of respective intellectual properties that survive me in my legacy. So the digitizing and archiving of all of it, the making and the paying for the making that available in perpetuity online through the Creative Commons online source. And the paying for Adidam I want a percentage of the foundation to be paying directly to Adidam in perpetuity. I want a percentage of the foundation to be paying into the Global Cooperative Forum in perpetuity, and I want a percentage of the foundation paying to the Free Union of Renunciate Messengers in perpetuity. So the purpose of the Ego Death Foundation, in addition to securing the intellectual property in my legacy, Warner Williams' legacy, and Bunny Bunn's legacy that survives me, is the paying for the perpetuation, improvement, expansion, and betterment of Adidam, the Global Cooperative Forum, and the Free Union of Renunciate Messengers. In addition to those purposes, monies will also be spent from the foundation for the creation of grants for rock bands and grants for all ages venues and grants for teaching rock and roll and teaching teachers of rock and roll. In homeschooling and public schools. So rock and roll, of course, must be extended into public schools. The hegemony of jazz and classical needs to be correspondingly adjusted. Rock and roll must take its rightful place at the top of the cultural pyramid of values and successes of Western culture. Adida aside. Adida is the ultimate in all those matters. But after Adida, rock and roll is the greatest thing, and should be put in its proper place in all the top areas of culture and society and civilization. So I guess you could say the new civilization is rock and roll civilization, funded by the Ego Death Foundation.